Hi. So sometime last week, I saw a post by Steve Burns on an inside candle strategy, and I thought let's convert this into a Tradetron strategy and see how we can use this to our advantage. So before we get into the strategy building aspect of it, let's learn about what exactly is an inside candle that he's spoken about. So I have linked this tweet in the strategy and in the description so that you can have a look at it for yourself, along with the content that he shared out here. So an inside candle is nothing but a candle where it is a series of two different candles together. So the first candle would be there, and after that, immediately after that, there would be a second candle. So in this strategy, in this example, he's shown that there is a mother candle which is like a red large candle, and after that there is, you can see, a relatively smaller candle which you can see as a green color candle out here. Or it could be the exact opposite, where there is a green colored candle, a big green colored candle, and there is a relatively smaller candle within this thing. So the idea here is that we are first looking for a candle, a candle formation of two different candles, where one is slightly bigger and the other is slightly smaller than the first one. And based on that, we are going to take our trade. So let's see how do we identify this kind of a setup. So when we look at the bearish side setup for this, you need to first find a large red candle and a relatively smaller green candle. So I have used this bearish candle and this bullish candle as my logic, based on which I am taking a trade. So I am basically looking for a candle with the high and low should be bigger than the high and low of the next candle. So let's see how we can build it on Tradetron. So as usual, I have the strategy already shared as a link. You can have a look at the same strategy, or you can make variations to it based on what is your particular requirement. And of course, the link to the same tweet is shared out here. So in my entry conditions, you can see that I am using open and close conditions. So basically, this set one is for my bullish trade. So in my bullish trade, I'm looking for my close to be more than open. Basically out here, the green candle out here, the -2 candle. So I'm assuming that I am currently at this point, um, of the strategy, and I'm looking at the -2 candle, which would be my green candle out here. So my green candle has to be, so first of all, I'm checking if my candle is green, and then I'm checking if for the high of the -2 candle has to be more than the high of the -1 candle, which is out here. So if you can see out here, the high of this candle is more than the high of this particular candle, which is built out here. Similarly, I'm also checking for the low. So the low of this candle has to be much lesser than the low of this candle. So this is crudely what I have built. And finally, our entry logic, that is, if the LTP is more than the high of the -2 candle, which you can see out here. So if this is the -2 candle, if the LTP out here is more than the high of this -2 candle, in that case, we will take a trade. So after taking a trade, I've also added one more restriction in terms of the time. So the time should be always more than 9:25, so that we can take the trade only after the first two candles of the day have been formed. Now I'll show you the entry position, which is quite straightforward. It's a simple bank nifty call that I am buying. You can also go for a sell or something like that. That is completely up to you. Now, in order to build my exit conditions as per this strategy is basically a profit target or a stop loss. So the stop loss is basically the low of the inside candle, and the target is basically the distance of the entire candle. So let's say if this candle was of 10 points, my target out here will be of 10 points. So in order to build my target out here, what I will do is I will generate some runtime variables. So you can see I have made a runtime variable for the bullish mother candle. So this green candle is what I'm calling as a mother candle. So the mother candle high and the mother candle low have been captured as a runtime variable. I'm also capturing the low point of the inside candle, which is mentioned out here. So the bullish inside candle low has been captured out here, so that I can use this as my stop loss. And then finally, I'm looking at the entry price. So this is the entry price that Bank Nifty was at when I was taking the trade. So similarly, I will now show you my exit conditions. So in my exit conditions, I have a condition as LTP is greater than get runtime plus absolute of a math operation. So in this math operation, I am basically taking a subtraction. So I'm looking at the high and I'm looking at the low of these two candles, And based on that, I'm making a subtraction. So I'm doing the high minus low so that I'm finding the distance of this entire candle, this green candle. Let's say if it is of 20 points. So I'm figuring out if this 20, what is this 20 points? So this is what my math operation is doing. Then I'm checking if LTP is more than get runtime entry price plus the difference. So after my entry price, if the market moves by that many points, in that case I will take a trade. So this will be my second exit. This will be my first exit condition. And second condition is of course the low of the inside candle. So if this low is achieved, in that case I will exit my trade. Now I have done pretty much the same thing for my set 2 as well. So my set 2 is basically looking at a slightly different condition, but it is along the same line. So I'm looking for this kind of a bearish inside pattern to be formed, and rest pretty much everything remain the same. You can have a closer look at it once you duplicate the strategy, and you can just check the position builder as well. This is again a simple buy put in case of a bearish signal. Similarly, I have my exit conditions, and my exit conditions are also quite straightforward. I'm looking at the same size of this particular mother candle, and based on that taking a trade. And I also have my stop loss, which is the high of the inside bearish candle. Now in both my exit conditions, I have used runtime variables to basically kill these variables once my trade has been exited. So after entry, once the exit happens, I do not need these variables anymore. I do not want this interfering with any other part of my logic. So I am killing these variables through the runtime variable, which I'm doing for both my sets, set 1 and set 2. So that is about the build of the strategy. So as mentioned, this strategy is also shared on as a link below, and you can just duplicate it and test it for yourself. So while testing, I found that when I back tested it, I found that if you check this same strategy for a back test, what happens is that when you look at the PDF, it looks like quite a sound strategy. So as you can see from this backtest report, it has pretty much generated a negative 50,000. So this means that the strategy is definitely not working. But what can be done in order to improvise this strategy? So you can see that although this PNL graph is negative, it's quite a stellar negative, right? I mean, it's given a good return in this particular period of time. And it's not that this entire return has been wiped away. So if we basically look at some improvisations on this strategy, one idea to improvise would be completely inverting the trades. So if we are taking a call trade, in that case, we would invert this entire trade and we would take a put trade. So at the signal of, let's say, a bearish trade, I will take a bullish trade, and at the signal of a bullish trade, I will take a bearish trade. And you can see that if I backtest this, which is basically an inverted strategy, in that case, the backtest is completely opposite, which means that I am getting something like this, which is a fairly good return. So on an option buying strategy, a return like this is quite good. So this is what is the learning from this entire video, is that don't look at a strategy from the perspective of the backtest report being bad. What you can instead do is that when you are using one strategy, if something is not working, try tweaking it. So in this inverted inside candle strategy, all I did was I changed the position. So in my bullish side, I took a bearish position, which is a put, and in my a bearish side, I took a bullish position, which is a call. So by simply inverting the positions, I got a fairly decent return as compared to a backtest like this. So as usual, I will be mentioning both the inverted inside candle strategy and the inside candle strategy in the link in the description. Feel free to have a look at it, test it, change the numbers, change the targets, change the stop losses, make it as per your own trading philosophy, and based on that, take your trades on Tradetron. So with that, we'll end this video. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to drop it in the comments and we would be happy to take it up in future videos. Thank you.